while the world whizzes by, enjoy a moment of me time with Tim Hortons' new $6 breakfast bundle. Savor a small hot or iced coffee, then add your choice of a mouth-watering hot breakfast sandwich and a crispy golden hash brown.
Ooh.
And your pick of a classic donut.
Yeah.
All for $6, all just for you. Make your mornings all about me time with our $6 breakfast bundle. Available at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. Price and participation vary. Terms apply.
Tired of ads interrupting your gripping investigations? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Ads shouldn't be the scariest thing about true crime. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free true crime to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.
The Two-Footed Podcast is brought to you by EPLindex.com and our presenting sponsor, Liberty Shield. Liberty Shield is a VPN provider. A virtual privacy network allows you to go online, change your location, access things you're geo-blocked from, while keeping your data safe. So, as an example, if you are a UK expat and want access to BBC iPlayer to watch Match of the Day or ITV Hub or all four, but you get that message that says this content is not available in your location, a Liberty Shield VPN gets you around that block, allows you to watch whatever you want on those services while also keeping your data safe. And it goes further than that. It allows you to open up Netflix's entire library by just changing your IP address. Liberty Shield is the #1 rated VPN provider on Trustpilot with 5-star ratings across the board. So go to libertyshield.com right now, use the code EPL25 and get either the hardware package or the software package. The hardware package is a router that you plug into your existing router, and any item you want to change the IP address on, be it your phone or your television, you connect that to the new Liberty Shield router. All other items can remain connected to your existing router. There's also a software package which is instantly downloadable to your device and you can get using straight away. Again, libertyshield.com, EPL25 for 25% off at checkout. We're also brought to you by Home of Hopcroft, a giftware and homeware company located in Scotland but shipping worldwide. Check out homeofhopcroft.co.uk and do check out the EPL Index and Anfield Index shops, which you'll find on Etsy. Use the codes EPL10 or RED10 for 10% off at checkout. And lastly, do remember to check out A Tad Predictable, hosted by Tadiwa. That podcast is on this feed before every Premier League match week. And then the EPL Roundtable, hosted by Kevin DeVries, on its own EPL Roundtable feed. So just search EPL Roundtable in your podcast device. And that's out after every match week. Now, on with the show. What's good, boys and girls? Two-Footed Podcast. Today is Thursday. It is January the 4th. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all feeling better than me anyway. Right, folks, it is Thursday. It is Questions Day. And as we don't have Premier League action this weekend, there's not really a whole lot to be talking about. We do have some FA Cup games ahead of us tonight. Went through them quickly yesterday. We have Crystal Palace versus Everton tonight in the FA Cup. Which, you know, I'm quite looking forward to. I think it's going to be a pretty decent game. And it's nice to have, you know, it's a glorified Premier League game because it is two Premier League teams. It'll be interesting to see how strong both teams go. And then that leads us into tomorrow when we get 3 games and then a ton of games Saturday, ton of games Sunday, and just the one on Monday. But we do then have football Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday because we have League Cup semi-final first legs on Tuesday, Wednesday. So games every night from tonight through next Wednesday, or every day from tonight through next Wednesday, which is nice. But it is questions day, and we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 questions. One of them is extremely long, so that's going to eat up a decent amount of time. But I'm going to go through the whole thing. I hope I haven't done 1 or 2 of these before. I don't think I have. They were all asked after Christmas. I don't think I've really done. Did I do questions last week? I don't think I did. I can't really remember. I haven't been very well, folks, for the last week and a half or so. So I'm really struggling to shake this, and my mind is not my own. But we're going to jump into this, and we'll give it a go. I know I answered Ron Burgundy's what is a football-related topic that you would like to see a good documentary or book made of that hasn't been made. I know I've answered that. So I'm going to start with Steve P. Given it's the holiday season, obviously that's now gone, but I hope everybody enjoyed it, and I hope you haven't all taken down your Christmas trees. Mine is staying up till February. I don't care. Mine is staying up till February. I'm tempted, maybe not this year, because I'd have to seek approval from the boss. I'm tempted to keep the tree up all year, 1 year, but change the decorations. So, have it as Christmassy as you can until, say, the end of January, because January's a miserable, cold, wet, rotten month. No one enjoys a January. And then maybe do it in kind of a spring type of theme for February, March, spring, kind of winter into spring theme. But, bright and colourful and enjoyable. And then Easter theme. And then, I don't know, some sort of summery theme. Then an autumn theme. Then, because what I really want to do is I want to do a Christmas tree, but with Halloween decorations. That's the whole purpose of this. And I'm thinking next year I might actually just put the tree up for Halloween and decorate it for Halloween. Because you know what it is, right? You need to have joy in your life, and a Christmas tree does bring some joy, in my opinion. And I just kind of feel like it can lift the mood a little bit if you're having a bit of a rotten day. Now, I understand that not everybody has the space to have the Christmas tree up all year round. I'm just lucky enough that we have a room that we don't use a whole lot, and we can put the Christmas tree in there. And then, you can walk in, you can sit with it, you can have a look at it. It's great. So mine is staying up until at least February. I know some people already have theirs down. The great curmudgeon Trev Downey took his down on New Year's Eve, which was late for him. I think he got it down on Stephen's Day or Boxing Day last year. Not a Christmassy man is Trev. Not a Christmassy man. Send Trev Downey pictures of Christmas trees. That's my mission for you all. Send Trev Downey a picture of your Christmas tree, and try and let's shove some Christmas cheer into the fella. Anyway, back to the question. Given that it's the holiday season, who from the football world would you most like to invite round for Christmas dinner, and why? What would you ask? Debate with them over a large glass of port. Well, let's see. So we should point out first and foremost, I do the best Christmas ham in the world. My mother makes the best stuffing and the best roast potatoes. Turkey is, I think, fairly standard across the board, but I definitely do the best ham. Just so you all know, you're not invited, but just so you're all aware that whatever ham you're having at any point is inferior to the ham that I'll be having. Who would I invite? I'd love, Arrigo Sacchi would be one. I'd love to just talk to him about that team. Bertie Vogts would be another, to talk to him about that German team. I'd quite like to have a sit down with Pep Guardiola and just ask him why. Simple. Why, Pep? Why? And Jurgen Klopp, to ask him why it is that he pretends like transfer windows are some sort of evil creation when, most of your team was bought during transfer windows? These are the questions I'd like answered. Isaac Gilding, hope you had a good time off. Couple of questions for the pod if you're doing them. First and most crucially, how is Toby doing? Saw your Christmas Day tweet and how he's getting on. Toby is doing well. Toby is back. Well, he was back to full lunacy within probably an hour or two of the seizure. He's had a few of them. They don't seem to have any lasting effects. I have spoken to a vet who says that the likelihood is that he doesn't remember them or anything. He doesn't actually know that he had one. He'll know that something happened. He just won't know what it was, and he won't remember that he would have been scared or whatever. But it is terrifying when it happens. He has puppy epilepsy, and that morning, what I think happened was we'd gotten the dogs, the three of them, some presents. And one of the things we got, which was for Molly, was this toy that was kind of crinkly. And when you shook it, it made crinkly noises. And Toby got really excited by this toy, which wasn't for him, and shook the bejesus out of it. And I think he just shook the bejesus out of his own head. And that's basically what happened. It was quite scary. It really was, because he's so small as well. And, you know, he's 3. And I don't know, there's just some sort of instinct in you that kicks in and wants to protect them. And it was scary, but because we've had the experience of dealing with a couple of them before, it was easier to know what to do and what precautions to take, like putting a towel under his head to protect his head in case he started getting tremors, and just to, you know, keep trying to massage the back of his neck so that nothing gets caught in his throat or anything, and just to reassure him. He's aware that there's people there. It's just to reassure him that things will be okay, and he's fine. Like, he is a lunatic. Within probably an hour and a half of the incident, he was trying to start fights with my feet, which is a favorite thing of his to do, and trying to start fights with Molly, which is something he does regularly and then instantly regrets it because Molly would kick his ass. Sam, our biggest dog, who's a collie, is very gentle and placid, and Toby is a lunatic, and the two of them are really closely bonded, and Sam allows Toby to lap at him, to nip at him, to do whatever, and just sort of smiles it off. Molly, on the other hand, takes revenge, and Toby doesn't deal well with that. Anyway, that's that. So moving on to the question. With the January transfer window coming up, how good of an 11 can you make from past January incomings to the Premier League? I've been thinking about it, and Liverpool really do have some corkers in the past with Sturridge, Suarez, Coutinho and Van Dijk. Are there any other clubs that have made this many good January transfers? My first thought is no. There are a couple of clubs that have had some belters. So United had probably the best January window overall when they got Vidic and Evra. I would put that above the Sturridge Coutinho arrivals. So I did actually see this question just before I started recording, and I did quickly come up with an 11. So goalkeeper was the issue. Couldn't find many goalkeepers that had moved in January. Certainly not many good ones. So the two I came up with were Shay Given joining Manchester City from Newcastle United in the January transfer window of 2009, and Martin Dubravka joining Newcastle, though that was initially a loan deal, but he did join in the January of 2018. But I'm going to go with Shay Given. I do think he was a better goalkeeper than Dubravka. The back four was really easy to pick. So at right back, we're going to go with Branislav Ivanovic, who, for my money, prior to Trent, the best right back the Premier League had seen. Ivanovic was brilliant for Chelsea. Absolutely brilliant for Chelsea. He joined them in January 2008. So he's going to be my right back. Virgil van Dijk will be one of the centre-backs, obviously joined Liverpool in January 2018. So I think that's an easy pick. And then the other two members of the back line will be the United pair, Nemanja Vidic and Patrice Evra. And they joined United in January 2006. So Ivanovic, Van Dijk, Vidic, Evra in front of Shay Given. In front of them, we're going to go with another Serbian, Nemanja Matic, as the holding midfielder, signed for Chelsea for the second time in January 2014, and was obviously a vital part of the title-winning team under Mourinho and the title-winning team under Antonio Conte. So he's going to sit at the base of the midfield. We're going to have two number 8s. The first one is going to be Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United. He obviously joined United in January of 2020 and has been absolutely outstanding for them. Not having a great season this year, but nobody at United is. But he is their best player. He did carry them to top 4. He was their best player last year. We're going to go with Bruno Fernandes. The other number 8 is the other Bruno Guimaraes, signed by Newcastle in January 2022. How Newcastle got a free run at him, I'll never understand. 40 million, absolute bargain. I know he's got a buyout in his new deal, but it's probably close to 100 million. And I don't think he's at Newcastle next season, if I'm being completely honest. I think someone is going to pay that buyout. I think he's a magnificent player. My front three then is maybe a little bit biased, but I don't care. It's all Liverpool. I'm going to go Daniel Sturridge and Felipe Coutinho as the sort of wide forwards, inside forwards. Both joined Liverpool the same year, January 2013. Sturridge was incredible. Sturridge can be the 9. I don't really care which way you want to put it. Sturridge can be the 9, or he can play off the right. I'm easy with either, but he's in. He was incredible for Liverpool. Absolutely incredible for Liverpool. And so was Coutinho. And their arrival saved Brendan Rodgers' job and propelled Liverpool. And the main reason it propelled Liverpool was the fella that they were partnered with, who is, in my opinion, the most talented player the Premier League has ever seen, the best player the Premier League has ever seen, not the Premier League's greatest ever, he doesn't have the longevity, but Luis Suarez. I don't think the Premier League has had a player as good as him. And I love Thierry Henry. I don't think he was as good as Suarez. So Suarez arrived January 2011. So that's what I've got. I've got Shay Given in goal, Ivanovic, Vidic, Van Dijk, Evra, Matic and the two Brunos, Sturridge, Suarez, and Coutinho. That's my January 11. Zucchino. Zucchino? I assume it's zucchini, but Zucchino? I assume so. This is a long list of players. World class during the peak, yay or nay? So we're going to go through them. Gael Clichy, nay. Kyle Walker, nay. Very good, not world class. Pepe Reina, nay. Very good, not world class. Felipe Coutinho, yay. He was world class. He had about 18 months where he was world class. Mesut Ozil, I believe, was world class prior to joining Arsenal. I think at Real Madrid, it's undeniable that he was world class. So I'm saying yay. Gennaro Gattuso, nay. No. Good, very effective, not world class. David Platt. Talked about him today, actually, with Karl Matchett on Scouted. I think he was world class at Villa. His 2 seasons at Villa, and all bar the year at Juventus of his time in Italy, like there's 5 seasons there where he was outrageously good as an attacking, goal-scoring midfielder. And for England, he did the business routinely. I'm going to say David Platt was world class. Not by the time he got to Arsenal. I think he'd started to decline physically. And obviously Arsenal played him a lot deeper. And with Bergkamp in the team, I could see what the idea was. It was the wrong execution. Had he played in the midfield 3 or as a 10 behind Bergkamp and Striker, I think it could have worked, but it didn't work the way they did it. Jens Lehmann, no, not world class. Very, very good, but not world class. Keylor Navas, not world class. Very good, but not world class. Joaquin, I don't think he was world class. I think he could have been. I think he had the talent to be. I just don't feel like he ever took that last step. The level right below it for a number of years, for sure, but I don't think he was world class. JJ Okocha, no, too inconsistent. An outrageously gifted player, one of the most talented players I've ever seen, and one of the most fun players. Like, if you're making an all-time fun 11, JJ Okocha's in that team. Just consider the fact that for a time in the years, hang on, I believe it was 2000 to 2002. No, it's only 1 year. The 2001-2002 season, Paris Saint-Germain had Ronaldinho and JJ Okocha in their team. And that's before all the Qatari money came in. JJ scored 10 and 33. Ronaldinho got 13 and 40. I don't know how many games they played together, but let's assume it's around 30. I've memories of watching a couple of those games and just been in awe of how gifted those two were. But I don't have great memories of them. Like, I don't have vivid memories of specific games. But just imagine having those two geniuses in your team. Imagine how much fun that would be. Where did PSG end up that season? They finished 4th in the league. They won the Intertoto Cup. They had Gabriela Heinze, Mikel Arteta, Maurizio Pochettino. Nicolas Anelka was in that team as well, which I'd completely forgotten until just now. Didier Domi, decent left back. Bernard Mendy was a solid right back. They also owned Laurent Robert. He was on loan to Newcastle. And Sylvain Distin, also on loan to Newcastle. That actually could have been a better team. But like, just imagine that front three. Okocha, Ronaldinho, and Anelka. How many goals did Anelka score that year? Not many by the looks of it. Nicolas Anelka, career statistics. He got loaned at the Christmas of that year to Liverpool. PSG didn't work for him. But it should have. That should have been lethal. Imagine having those two providing for you. That's disappointing, Nicholas. You've let me down there. But no, JJ wasn't world class. Wilf Zaha wasn't world class either, but a tremendous player. Gaza, yes. Pre-knee injury Gaza was world class. Late 80s, up until the knee exploded, Gaza was world class. After that, just super talented, but inconsistent and physically was falling apart. Gary Lineker. I mean, certainly a world-class goal scorer. I don't think you could argue with that. Lineker scored for fun. You look at the numbers. With Leicester, let's go from 83, 22 and 39 in the league, then 24 and 41, moves to Everton, 30 and 41, goes to Barcelona, 20 and 41, then 16 and 36, and then a bad season, 88-89. But if I remember rightly, he was playing on the wing in that season. Then he went to Spurs, 24 and 38, 15 and 32, 28 and 35. Gary Lineker was a world-class goal scorer. And I mean, the record for England speaks for itself. But as a player, as an overall player, no, I don't think he was. I don't think he was a world-class player. World-class goal scorer, though, without question. Jamie Redknapp, no. Good player, limited in certain areas. Wasn't the quickest, ran kind of awkward as well. Had like a real stiff running motion. Good pass for the ball, though. Robbie Keane wasn't world-class. Really good goal scorer. And at international level, tremendous goal scorer. But no, not world-class. Santi Cazorla, a level below world-class, but a wonderful player to watch. Thomas Rosicky, exactly the same. I think Rosicky could have been, but the injuries held him back. Morientes, no. Morientes was sort of the Alvaro Morata of his era. A good striker, not a great striker, and better as a foil for the primary goal scorer. In Morata's case, it's Griezmann. In Morientes' case, it was Raul, who Griezmann is the closest thing to Raul in the modern game. Balotelli, no. Had the talent to be, but didn't have the mindset. Chiellini was world-class. Yeah, Giorgio Chiellini was a world-class defender. There's no way around that. Maicon, that's a tough one.
Hey there. Did you know Kroger always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower-than-low prices? And when you download the Kroger app, you'll enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. And don't forget fuel points to help you save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. Want to save even more? With a Boost membership, you'll get double fuel points and free delivery. So shop and save big at Kroger today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite show? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Download the Amazon Music app or visit amazon.com/ad-free sports. That's amazon.com/ad-free sports to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime members. Some shows may have ads.
Like, if you look at Maicon at his peak at Inter, I do think you can make the case that he was world-class for probably 3 years. But when he fell off the cliff, he fell off harder than any player I've ever seen. Like, he went from being probably a top 2 or 3 right back in the world to being utterly unplayable within a month. And then Gareth Bale snatched his soul. Like, he had been poor before the Bale games. And then when Gareth Bale did that to him, and he really should have been arrested for what he did to him, like that's illegal in most countries to just abuse somebody in that manner. He was a shell of himself after that. Pedro, no, not world-class. Very, very good player, but not a world-class player. Isco had the talent to be, didn't have the mindset or the work rate or the attitude or the application, and ultimately is a disappointment. Thiago Silva, I don't think he was world-class, personally. I think when he was at his peak, we were very much in a down era for centre-backs. And he was never the best centre-back in the world, regardless of what people try and... Vincent Kompany was better than him. I would say Kompany was world-class. Silva was very, very, very good for a couple of years. The season at Milan where they won the title, I think there is a case that he was world-class that year. But I'm going to say no, but he's close. He was close. He's certainly not now. Verratti was world-class, yeah, for certain. I think Ivanovic was world-class. I think Ivanovic is one of the best right-backs I've ever seen. From a defensive point of view, he was incredible. Zabaleta, no, but very good, very reliable. Marcelo was world-class on the ball and largely a train wreck off the ball. I don't think he was world-class overall. I don't think he was. I think a lot of people got caught up in the flicks and the tricks and how good he was on the ball. I take an argument that he was, though, in fairness to him. He did have a great career. And he was outstanding for a couple of... Yeah, you know what? We'll say he was. The De Boer brothers. Frank was, Ronald wasn't. Ronald was very good. Frank, I think, was world-class for a couple of seasons. Alexis Sanchez, yeah. Alexis was world-class for a couple of years at Arsenal. Aubameyang. That's an interesting one. I think he was. I do think he was. Mkhitaryan at Shakhtar and Dortmund, yes. At United and Arsenal, absolutely not. Kagawa, no. Moutinho, João Moutinho, no. Willian, no. John Terry. I mean, kind of like Thiago Silva. Very good, but no, I don't think he was world class. Evra. Yeah, Evra's best years, he was world class, to be fair to him. Owen Hargreaves, no, the injuries took care of that. Didier Drogba is a really interesting one. I mean, you look at the numbers and it's an automatic no. Hugely inconsistent as a goal scorer. But his all-round performances were absolutely incredible. And as a big game player, you couldn't find better. So I would say yes on Drogba. James Rodriguez, no, had the talent, but like Isco, didn't have the attitude or the aptitude, and ultimately is a disappointment. I'd put Joe Cole a level below them. Had the talent at West Ham and never became anything close to what he should have been. Inzaghi, no, very limited footballer. Obviously scored a lot of goals, but couldn't do anything outside the 18-yard box. Teddy Sheringham, no, I'd say a level just below. Very, very good. Andy Cole, no, but a tremendous goal scorer, kind of the English Isco, the English Inzaghi in many ways. Riyad Mahrez. The season at Leicester where they won the league, he was certainly trending that direction, but after that, no. Vardy, no. Henrik Larsson. The issue with Henrik Larsson is that he played in Scotland for his peak. But, I mean, you look at the numbers. He arrived as a winger. Bear in mind, he arrived as a winger. 19 goals in 46 games. Transitions to being the centre forward. 38 and 48. 12 and 13, has that horrific leg break. Comes back 53 and 50. 35 and 47, 44 and 51, 41 and 58. I think Henrik Larsson was world class. And what I would point to is his record in Europe for Celtic. The 174 in 221 in the league is impressive, as are 23 and 25 in the Scottish Cup and 10 and 11 in the Scottish League Cup. But 35 goals in 56 games in European competition, I think he was world class. 242 goals in 313 games. And then when he went to Barcelona, he had an injury-plagued first season, was excellent in the second season, scored 15 in 42, was excellent that year, helped them win a Champions League. I think Henrik Larsson was world class. He's certainly the greatest player Celtic have ever had, in my view. For Celtic. Kenny Dalglish, I think, was a better player, but I think his best years came at Liverpool. But yeah, Henrik Larsson is in the all-time Celtic 11. I think he was world class. I do. Ryan Laudrup had the talent. I think you can make a case that he was world class when he was at Rangers. I really do. I think he was an astonishing player. I'm going to put him a level just below, though. Christian Vieri, no. Great goal scorer. should have been more than he was. Had everything, the size, the speed, the touch, the finishing ability. He's such a bizarre career, though. Like, what a weird career. Comes through at Torino, plays there 2 years, 9 games, 2 goals. Then 1 year at Pisa, 1 year at Ravenna, 1 year at Venezia, 1 year at Atalanta, 1 year with Juve, 1 year with Atletico Madrid, 1 year with Lazio. He joins Inter Milan in 99. He's 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're his 9th club. And like, even as a kid, he was in 4 different academies. Now, I know he grew up in Australia and moved back and whatever else. But like, he's a journeyman. A great journeyman. A goal machine for Atleti. Pretty good up front for Lazio, not quite the same. Spends 6 years at Inter. And then he goes to AC Milan for a year, Monaco for a year, Atalanta for a year, Fiorentina for a year, and back to Atalanta for a year. So he's this long career, which spans 91 to 09. He spends 2 years with Torino to begin. Actually, doesn't. He leaves Torino just into the second season. So it's 1 season at Torino, 1 season at Pisa, 1 at Ravenna, 1 at Venezia, 1 at Atalanta, 1 at Juve, 1 at Atleti, 1 at Lazio, 6 with Inter, 1 with Milan, 1 with Monaco, 1 with Atalanta, 1 with Fiorentina, and 1 with Atalanta. What a mental career. I'm going to say a level below world class, though. Diego Simeone, no. Very good, but not world class. Didier Deschamps, no. I think Ian Wright was. I do think Ian Wright was world class. I think he's always overlooked in conversations about the great strikers of the 90s, but Ian Wright had everything to his game. He was a machine. Roberto Mancini, yes, I think he was. Sampdoria era Mancini, I think, was world class. David Ginola, no, a level below. A level below. Great player, though. Guardiola, a level below. Very good. Very, very good, but a level below. Ian Wright's here again. Yes, again. Conte, no. Good to very good, not world class. Eidur Gudjohnsen was just a good player. He wasn't world class. Chris Waddle, I think there's a strong case that he was. We take a look. Chris Waddle's middle name is Roland, by the way, which will never not amuse me. I don't know why, it just does. I think Chris Waddle at Newcastle and Spurs and the first year at Marseille was world class. And when he came back to England with Sheffield Wednesday, he was really, really good. I'm going to say yes on Chris Waddle. Gareth Southgate, no. Good, solid defender. Good holding. I think he could have been a world-class holding midfielder if he played there throughout his career, but he got moved back into defence, and I don't think he was world-class. Handanovic, yes. Friedel, no. Grobbelaar, no. Rooney. The numbers say yes. The raw numbers of goals. Top scorer for England until Kane broke it. Top scorer for United. But, I mean, how much of that is him being world-class and how much of that is longevity? Now, people can say, oh, he played for United for X amount of years, so of course he was great. But, I mean, if you look at his actual career, he definitely had world-class seasons. I would say yes. However, I think Wayne Rooney's world-class from the age of 21 until about 25. I would say Wayne Rooney was world-class from probably the 06-07 season through to the end of 09-10. And after that, I don't think he was. He had one really good goal-scoring season after that, 11-12, but a lot of them are tap-ins. But after that, I do feel like there was a huge drop-off. Physically, he wasn't the same. And then people will say, oh, he played in midfield. No, he didn't. Handful of games in midfield. I would say yes. At his peak, Wayne Rooney was world-class. But I think Wayne Rooney started to decline significantly from the age of 25 on. Too much too soon. His body couldn't hold up. Andrea Barzagli, no. One of the best man-to-man markers ever, but not world-class. Mandzukic, no. Good, but not world-class. Di Natale, no. I love him, but no. Definitely not. Forlan, no. Very good goal scorer, not world-class. Danny Carvajal, I'm going to say is a level below. Diego Costa, no. Pepe, no. No. Pepe was very, very good, but no. Jerome Boateng, definitely not. Gareth Bale, yeah, he had a couple of years at Spurs that were world-class, to be fair. He was never the best player in the Premier League, though. He is in possession of Luis Suarez's Player of the Year awards. But I'm going to say yes, Gareth Bale was world-class. Gary Speed, very, very good, but no. Piqué, I don't think so. Antoine Griezmann, yes. First time at Atleti, absolutely. Olivier Giroud, no. Good player, very good at times, but no. I think Dwight York was world-class. I think Dwight York had a couple of year run at United where he was world-class. He was so vital to that treble-winning team. It's funny, he only spent 4 years there. I think actually, if you look at his last 3 years with Villa and his first 2 years at United, over that span of time, I think he probably was world-class. But that treble season, he was outrageously good. But you look at that 5-year run, 25 in 48, 20 in 43, 16 in 40. Villa weren't good that year. 29 in 52. He joined United after the season started as well, which, he slotted in seamlessly and got them 29 goals. And then 23 and 47 in the second year. And then he started to get injured. He started to fall out with Ferguson, and then it was all over very quickly. And he went off a cliff. Like, he had one good season with Blackburn. He had a decent season with United, a disastrous season with United, a good season with Blackburn, and then it was just a mess after that. And when he had that good season with Blackburn, like, he was only 32, but he went off the cliff really, really quickly. And that's it. There's your list. So there we go. AMK2889. Hopefully how I worded all this makes sense. If it doesn't, I apologise. In light of next Monday's College Football Championship, who is your choice to win? And could you explain how sport over in the UK and Ireland works in relation to universities? Obviously, here in America, college sports are a massive attraction, with basketball and football being amongst the most watched sports in the nation. I find it amazing. I'm fascinated by college basketball and particularly college football and how popular they are. Like, there are stadiums with over 100,000 people full every game for college football, for amateur players, basically. Most of them, not most, many will go on to become pros, but it's amazing to me. And I love it. And I will be watching the college football championship game, without question. Michigan versus Washington. I kind of want Michigan to win purely because I want Harbaugh to win, just because he's taken a lot of shit over the years. And I kind of feel like it would vindicate a lot of what he's done. But I actually want Washington to win because I want the underdog to win. And I think they've done an amazing job. I think they're more fun to watch. Is it Michael Penix? Is that the quarterback? He looks a real player, a real pro prospect who, in the right offense with the right weapons, could be a very, very good pro. And I'm hoping the Huskies win Yeah, I'm going to go with the Huskies. It is the Huskies, isn't it? Or is that Washington State? University. I should know this. I watched their game against Texas. It is Huskies, yeah. I knew I wasn't losing my mind that much. Yeah. I watched the game against Texas. I watched them against Oregon in the previous game. And I'm so impressed by Michael Penix Jr. Dylan Johnson, the running back, he looks a hell of a player. And those receivers, McMillan and let me look him up. The other receiver is Odunze. They look like pro players. The Polk kid as well. Like they've got three potentially, I think, NFL receivers on that team. And this quarterback, he's so accurate. Is he draft eligible this year? Or will he be going back? He's 23, so I'm assuming he's a senior. He was at Indiana for 3 years and then transferred. I don't see how he's not an NFL player. He's so accurate. But this Washington team, they're just fun. And Kalen DeBoer has done an amazing job. And obviously, like he came in with very little head coaching experience, having only been at Fresno State for 1 year. But you have to be impressed by what he's done the last 2 years. Well, they finished 8th last year, having had a losing record the previous year and sacked the coach. Chris Peterson had done such a good job there, and I was a big fan of him because do you know what it is? He was at Boise State for, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years. And I always would watch Boise games if I could find them because the blue field was just so funny. And I remember thinking he really does appear to have a good handle on what he's doing. And he went to Washington and he did fairly well there, won a couple of Pac-12s. I was quite surprised when he resigned. And obviously he hasn't taken another job since, which is a bit of a shock to me that he's not been picked up by somebody because you look at the records. He never had a losing season at Boise or Washington. Actually, 8 years at Boise, 6 at Washington. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bowl wins. Got to bowl games every year. So yeah, a bit of a soft spot for him. And then just, they're the underdog in this game. They were the underdog, I think, against Texas, even though they were the higher ranked team. And they'll be the underdog against Michigan. But I'm going to go with them. As for how sports work in the colleges here, it's not the same. There are scholarships. There are sports scholarships. I don't fully have a handle on how things work all that well in England. Being honest with you, you'd have to ask somebody else. But there are scholarships available here. Now, it's not played on the same level. Like the Sigurdsson Cup is the hurling the hurling competition between all the different colleges. And it's very competitive. No, am I right? No, Sigurdsson Cup is... No, Fitzgibbon Cup is hurling. Sigurdsson Cup is Gaelic. So the Fitzgibbon Cup is the one that is really competitive. And the University of Limerick have won it the last couple of years. Prior to that, it was the University College of Cork. Munster teams tend to dominate it. In fact, if we look back, going back to the year 2000, 2001, UCD win it. Then it's Limerick, Waterford, Limerick IT, Cork, Galway, Limerick, Cork, Waterford, Limerick, Mary Immaculate College, which I'm almost certain is in Limerick. It is indeed. I think it's a teaching college. They won it twice. Limerick again, Cork, cancelled for COVID, and Limerick the last 2 years. So it's been dominated by the Munster teams. It's not a surprise because Munster is our strongest hurling province. But even before that, like you go back through the 90s, it's all bar 1 year. It's Munster. The 80s, all Munster. You've got to go back to the 70s when it was UCD, that's Dublin, UCG, which was Galway, Maynooth, when they were competitive every year. So yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. It doesn't generate the same type of crowds or anything. Like, you're not getting enormous attendances at those games, but I'd imagine like you're probably getting decent enough crowds at them. But they wouldn't be of it's not the same level. It just isn't. The Sigurdsson Cup, I'm actually surprised. I know very little about as I now think about it, because I do prefer hurling to Gaelic football. There is college sports. It's just not on the same level. It's not on the same level. You can get scholarships, absolutely. Most colleges offer scholarships for various sports, for rugby, for soccer or football, for Gaelic football, for hurling, I'm sure for basketball and whatever else, swimming, athletics. There's scholarships across the board. The difference is college here, university here, is not as expensive as it is over there. I mean, the fees here are, now some are more expensive and some courses are more expensive, but the fees here are a couple of grand a year. You're not talking about taking on a lifetime of debt in this country to go to third level education. Now, if you want to become a doctor or a vet, those courses are quite expensive and those courses are quite exclusive. They're only offered in a couple of places. But you're still not talking the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you guys would have to pay for similar levels of education. And therefore the scholarships don't hold the same value. Like, realistically, if I was to have a son who was a basketball player and he wanted to go to North Carolina or Kentucky or Kansas, if he was to go there and pay for his education for 4 years, what's that going to be? 150 grand? So the scholarship saves him that, or saves me that, as the point would be. But 150 grand is ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. But here, like, if he's just studying, say, communications or something, because a lot of pro athletes seem to have communications degrees, here, all he's actually saving if he wants to go to, let's say, Galway, it might be 20 grand is what he might save over the 4 years. The other thing is here, we don't have like a one and done culture because you're not getting drafted anywhere. If you're a really good hurler or Gaelic football player or rugby player, you're playing for your club alongside, and potentially your county, alongside your commitments to the university. So let's just say I've got a kid and he goes to the University of Limerick. He's going to play hurling for Limerick, for the University of Limerick, but then he'll also, in most circumstances, play for his local club, whichever club that might be. Now, where I live, nobody plays hurling because I think they're scared of it in this part of the country. Don't tell them, but I think they're scared of it. And then he could also play for his county team, and maybe his under-21 county team, or if he's good enough, the senior county team. So it's not the same as in America where they would only just play for the college. they will play outside of it as well. Like, for example, I went to college, played rugby. I also played for a club team at the same time. And I might play 4 games a week. Like, I might play 2 college games and 2 club games in a week and try and get in training around that and try and, undertake my actual education as well. It's little wonder that the education fell by the wayside and that I have the neck and back of a 75-year-old at this point in my life and the shoulders and knees of a 90-year-old. So yeah, I mean, I hope that explains it, but let's see if there's anything more. Nat Phillips was offered a scholarship to North Carolina. Is that because the sport? I don't know. I don't know what way it works in England. I don't know if you can get a soccer scholarship in Ireland. I think you can. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't. You can get them for certain sports. Gaelic, hurling, and definitely rugby. But they're kind of our national sports, whereas soccer is kind of an English sport and you're kind of looked down on in certain parishes. So I don't know if you can get a soccer scholarship. I actually don't. But you can get athletic scholarships. You can get others. The reason a lot of people, like some of the better talent here for soccer and for athletics will also get, and golf, there's no scholarships here, but some people get scholarships to go play golf in America. But the reason some of them might take that over a scholarship in Ireland is just the experience of going and living in America. If there are any players that have played at university level, no, there's not. Soccer players won't end up in university in England. They'll end up in an academy at 13 or 14, and then they'll just be progressed into the senior team. It just works different here. As for cricket, I have no idea. Genuinely none. We do play a bit of cricket here, and I believe a couple of the best players for England over the last years have been Irish. But Daniel Rhodes or Dan Kennett or Gags Hanlon to be the fellas to ask about cricket. I have less than no idea. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do the news and gossip, and we'll be done. See you in a sec. Right, welcome back. So, little bits of news then. Real Madrid extended their unbeaten run to stay top of La Liga. Girona are not going away, though. They got a great win against Atletico Madrid the night before. They're level on points at Real Madrid. Level on points at Real Madrid after 19 games. Real's defensive record this season is exceptional. Only 11 goals conceded. But Girona have the best attack in La Liga with 46 goals so far. Both teams have 15 wins, 3 draws, 1 defeat. So that's fun. At least Real are being pushed this year because Barcelona are capable of it. Manchester United have triggered the 1-year extension in Aaron Wan-Bissaka's contract. They have also done the same for Victor Lindelof, I believe. And they're also looking at Rafa Varane and Anthony Martial. They should just let those two go. Hannibal Mejbri's also had his contract extended by 1 year up until 2025. But, I mean, Martial, just let the lad leave. He's been useless. He clearly doesn't want to be there anymore. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. Club sources said that more than 800, I think I've been over this before, 800 right-backs were tracked before they made Aaron Wan-Bissaka their 5th most expensive signing. Let me be really clear on this. There are not 800 players for all the positions who are good enough to play for Manchester United, let alone 800 right-backs. So what you have done there is you have either lied or wasted an immense amount of time looking at players that are nowhere near good enough. And at a glance would clearly not be good enough. There are no more than 15 players in each position at any one time who are good enough to play for Manchester United. If United want to be a serious football club, 15. That's it. Your long list, your very, very long list, at most, is 40. That's it. What are you looking at 800 players for? And if you did look at 800 players, how did you end up with him? Nonsense. Utter nonsense. Manchester United, just what a mess. Kylian Mbappe says he's not made up his mind about his future. Michael Beale is talking up the game at the weekend between Sunderland and Newcastle. He's obviously the new Sunderland manager. And he's right. It is very, very important. Stephen Clemens, the manager of Gillingham, recently appointed, has talked about his father, Ray Clemens, and how he regrets that his dad never got to see him be a manager in his own right. Stephen had a pretty good playing career and has been a coach for a number of years on different staffs under Steve Bruce. And Gillingham have given him his opportunity, and best of luck to him. I hope it goes well. Thomas Frank has said it will take an unbelievable offer to prize Ivan Toney away from Brentford this month. Yeah, I think he's definitely staying. I don't see any chance he leaves. In demand phase only focus on promotion. Wout Faes has been linked with Atalanta, probably because what's his name? Oh, the fella who was the recruitment guy with Rodgers and went to Atalanta. I can't think of his name. Atalanta. I don't think he's the sporting director, is he? Is he the sporting director there? I'm not sure what his role is. Lee Congerton. He's the managing director of professional football, or whatever that is. I would imagine he played a role. He was definitely the one that put Faes on Rodgers' radar. And I'd imagine he's the one who's the driving force behind any interest from Atalanta. There's a quiz here you can do on the BBC website as well when you get some time, so take part in that. And Marco Silva, did I say this? Marco Silva has been charged by the FA over comments made about a referee. He had some comments when Raul Jimenez was sent off against Newcastle and about the tackle by Jamal Lascelles prior to that, which I think is what wound Jimenez up and ended up with him getting sent off for that bizarre leap at, was it Longstaff? Dreadful stuff. Anyway, gossip. Manchester United are interested in making Michael Olise one of the first signings of the Jim Radcliffe era. Michael Olise should run 1,000,000 miles from Manchester United. Mohamed Salah is moving closer to a new contract extension at Liverpool, despite interest from the Saudi Pro League. I would love this to be true, but it's Steve Kay who is a spoofer. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund has renewed its interest in Manchester City and Belgian midfielder KDB, and view him as a primary target in the summer. It's Rudy Galetti, so it's probably crap. Borussia Dortmund are hoping to sign Ian Maatsen either on loan or permanent deal. Dortmund want Jadon Sancho to join them on loan in their Marbella training camp next week. Chelsea are prepared to let Thiago Silva leave the club when his contract runs out at the end of the season. That's a good decision. Bayern Munich are set to renew their interest in both João Palhinha and Trevoh Chalobah. They came close to signing both in the summer. I think if they got both, I think it makes them a real Champions League contender, to be honest. Crystal Palace are interested in Eddie Nketiah, but Arsenal will not sell. It is Ben Jacobs. He's a spoofer. I think it's clear they don't want to sell regardless of anything else. Girona manager Michel Sanchez has emerged as a potential replacement for Eddie Howe. Well, he's done a great job this year. There's no question. But I have to believe that if Newcastle decide to move on from Eddie Howe, they will go with a more proven quantity. Now, he's been managing since 2017. He was at Rayo Vallecano. He did okay. He was at Huesca. He did okay. Got both of them teams promoted. And he's done a great job at Girona, but I just don't see him being the guy that they go for. Leon want Said Benrahma, Wolves and Fulham, both interested. Timo Werner has emerged as a serious transfer target for Manchester United, with RB Leipzig set to allow a loan deal. Everton are seeking to offload Andre Gomes because of his high wages. He's actually been their best midfielder the last couple of games. Monaco are in discussions with West Ham over a loan with an option to buy for Thilo Kehrer. Sheffield United are close to signing Ben Brereton Diaz on loan until the end of the season, which kind of screws with the article I put up on AnfieldIndex.com or EPLindex.com yesterday. It appears like he is or has signed for Sheffield United. I had him suggested as a signing for Luton. I think he'd work there. On loan it was, but, it is what it is. Wolves are in advanced talks to sign Noha Lemina, the 18-year-old midfielder from PSG, who is the younger brother of Mario Lemina, the Wolves midfielder. Now, he's an attacking midfielder. He's been on loan with Sampdoria, but it doesn't seem to be going all that well, and they would like to send him somewhere else. Now, he's very highly rated, very, very highly rated, so it'd be interesting to see if there's any kind of option to buy or anything included. Zach Steffen is set to leave Manchester City and sign for Major League Soccer side Colorado Rapids. Hasn't worked from in England, I think it's fair to say, but I do think he was good on loan last season with Borough, and I was a little bit surprised he didn't get another loan in the summer, but such is life. That'll do, folks. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
Social Podcast Network.
Tired of ads interrupting your gripping investigations? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Ads shouldn't be the scariest thing about true crime. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free true crime to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.